Today, we're talking about a confusing video posted by Israel's Prime Minister, big turnouts for Olympic trials in the US, summer officially starting with unfavorable weather, and other top news for Friday, June 21st. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with a pour over today. Here's the quote of the day: "Prayer is the sweat of the soul." Martin Luther. Let's get started with some espresso shots. The US and Israel aren't on the same page. The confusion started Tuesday with video of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu posted on X saying, in English, that the US has been withholding weapons and ammunition to Israel. The White House's press secretary responded that they genuinely do not know what he is talking about, noting that they only paused one weapon shipment since the start of the war, while billions of dollars worth of weapons have been delivered. Reports of canceled meetings between U.S. and Israeli officials prompted a White House statement that no meeting had been officially scheduled. Meanwhile, Lebanon-based Hezbollah's leaders issued a televised message, claiming that his group has new weapons and warning that war between them and Israel would have no rules and with no red lines. War and the evil it exposes are a terrible reminder that the world is not as it should be. Seek peace where you are and trust that the Lord will end all war in His perfect timing. Psalm 46, 6, 7, and 9 says, "Nations rage, kingdoms topple, the earth melts when He lifts His voice. The Lord of armies is with us, the God of Jacob is our stronghold. Come, see the works of the Lord, who brings devastation on the earth." The torch hasn't been lit, but the excitement has begun. From July 26th to August 11th, Paris will become the center of the sports world, hosting millions of spectators for the 2024 Olympic Games. Around 10,500 athletes across 32 sports will compete in 350,000 hours of TV broadcasts, watched by billions worldwide. But first, Americans are racing and leaping for the coveted spots on Team USA. This week, record-breaking crowds in Indianapolis watched swim trials inside a converted NFL stadium. Backstroker Ryan Murphy, undefeated 1500 free legend Katie Ledecky, and veteran Caleb Dressel clinched their spots on America's roster. Track and field trials take off today at the University of Oregon, where Noah Lyles and Sha'Carri Richardson, sidelined before Tokyo after a failed marijuana test, begin their bids for fastest man and woman on Earth. Sports can teach us a lot about everyday life, the value of teamwork, perseverance, and even loyalty as a fan. The commitment of athletes to their sport encourages us to press on as we seek to win an imperishable crown at the end of our faith journey, and the joy of fans for their team can give us a foretaste of the greatest celebration in history. 1 Corinthians 9:25 says, "Now everyone who competes exercises self-control in everything. They do it to receive a perishable crown, but we an imperishable crown." The dog days of summer have Americans panting. Yesterday was the summer solstice, the longest day of the year for people in the northern hemisphere of our tilty planet. It marked the first official day of summer, whose least desirable weather patterns arrived early. Blistering heat across the Midwest and East Coast is expected to continue into the weekend, placing millions under heat advisories. Meanwhile, wildfires are blazing in Arizona, California, and New Mexico. Governors have declared states of emergency, thousands have been forced to evacuate, and at least 2 people have died. Texas and Mexico met Alberto, the first named storm of what's expected to be a busy hurricane season. Officials in Mexico downplayed the damage Alberto brought, instead celebrating the storm for bringing much-needed rain across a drought-stricken country. Here's a verse to consider when reminded of nature's power. The men were amazed and asked, "What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the sea obey him." Matthew 8:27.
Hey there, I'm Steph, a writer for The Pour Over. Wish you could get that "I just found $1 on the ground" rush every time you go to the gas station? With Upside, you can. Upside is my favorite cashback app. You just download the app, claim the offer at the gas station, and pay as usual. I save around 15 cents a gallon, and it takes less than a minute to check in and cash out. Plus, they don't sell my data. They just make a commission for recommending certain gas stations. Download the free Upside app and use promo code TPO to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code TPO.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Russia and North Korea are getting cozy. Their leaders, Putin and Kim, announced a surprise mutual assistance agreement in the event either country is attacked, tightening their alliance in the face of heavy international sanctions. The agreement came during Russian President Putin's first visit to North Korea in 24 years, which was jam-packed with parades and gift exchanges. Thou shalt hang this poster. A new law made Louisiana the first state to mandate that the 10 Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom. Posters with the commandments and context describing their historical significance are required decoration by the start of 2025. Critics have questioned the law's constitutionality and vowed to challenge it in court. The fasten seatbelt sign is still on at Boeing. On Wednesday, the families of 346 people killed in the 737 MAX crashes sent a letter asking the DOJ to criminally prosecute and fine Boeing $24 billion for the deadliest corporate crime in U.S. history. This was just one day after the aerospace giant's CEO was grilled in a turbulent Senate hearing. Disney's Pixar studio is feeling happiness about the success of Inside Out 2, the sequel to the 2015 hit about a girl's emotional life. Inside Out 2, in which Riley is now 13 and visited by 4 new emotions, set a Juneteenth box office record and is the biggest box office success of any kind since last summer's Barbie. The Say Hey Kid is gone. Willie Mays, widely considered to be the greatest center fielder ever, died Wednesday at the age of 93. His jaw-dropping catch in the 1954 World Series remains an all-timer. He appeared in 24 All-Star games, won 12 Gold Gloves, and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2015. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.